Hi, this is Barbar Aslan. In this short video, I'll show you how you can use the tracking tool and how it works with the new features. There are some major changes coming with the new one. The biggest change is about how you can get the data in it. Basically, this is how it works. I download the data on Euphoria and upload it to our central office servers so that you can download the data by using your database credentials. However, I do uploading only for the major assessments like district assessments, mock tests, STAR, EOC data, etc. For instance, if you want to use the tool for your common assessment, you have to upload your own data. I'll show you in a minute how you can use that upload feature. Before we start it, I want to go over the security settings. That is the part that mainly people get issues with. For the security settings, we go to File, Options, Trust Center, Trust Center settings. You need to select macro settings if it's not selected. On the top here, either you can select the second one, disable all macros with notification, or you can select the fourth one, enable all macros. If you select the second one, each time you open the file, the tracking tool, you will be prompted to enable the content. If you click on this one, then automatically it goes on. This part, this check is important. You have to check this box. Let's go ahead and uncheck it. On purpose, let's make a mistake and see what kind of problems we're going to be having. Click OK. OK. I'm going to close the file and reopen it and see what happens. As you see, we made a mistake on purpose. Because of that, we had this error sheet. Actually, this page is helping us to fix the problem. It says follow these steps to fix the problem. Number one, change the security settings as shown in the picture below. This is a screenshot. This is actually not somewhere that you can make settings. This is just like a picture. But you know how to get this. If you don't remember how to get this from file options and all that, these detailed instructions actually will help you to get there. Let me show you that. Here we go. Number one, go to file, options, trust center settings, macro settings, so on and so forth. Let's get rid of this. Let's go back to the Excel and do what we need to do. Options, trust center settings, macro settings. I'm good with this one. I just check this box, click OK. After the first step, we need to click Fix button to move on. The issue is fixed. It's ready to use now. Click OK. We're good to go. That page is gone. All right, let's go ahead and see what's changed in the tool and how it works now. As I said before, in the new version, you will use your database credentials to log in and to let the tool download the data from our central office servers rather than Euphoria. As you see, we don't have those complicated buttons and checkboxes anymore. Just click on this download data button. Sometimes you'll be asked to download the new version. It's up to you to press yes and download immediately or press no to postpone it to another time. If you press no, you won't be asked again until you close and reopen this file. As you can see here, this is version 3.3. After downloading the new one, this should change, most likely to 3.4. I want to show you how this part works, so I'll just press yes. After successfully downloading the new version, we will be notified about it. As you see, this is version 3.4. Now we can click on Download Data button. Enter your username and password that you use on your campus website. This is the second part that you may get an error. If you see this error after you attempt to log in, there might be a couple of reasons. First, check if you have internet connection. Second, you need to make sure that your school IP is in the central office safe IP list. You should go to what'smyip.com and send me the numbers appear on the top. Let me show you how you do that. Here's the website that you need to go, and this is the number that you need to send it to me. If you try to log in from your school or cluster office and you know that your IP is fine but still cannot log in, you should let me know. On purpose, I disconnected the internet to show you the error. I will reconnect and try again. You may or may not be asked to select a campus, depends on whether you are a cluster or campus staff. For instance, for me, it lists all the campuses. If you are a cluster staff and you are not given an option to select a campus, most probably your database role needs to change. If you cannot fix it with your IT department, let me know. I will be happy to help. If you're prompted to select a campus, select one and press OK. When you need to switch to another campus, you click on the campus link here. Let's select a campus and move on. In next step, we should select the school year and then the grade level. We can select only one or more than one courses. If you select more than one assessment, the tool will download and analyze all the selected assessments so that you can compare the assessments to monitor the progress. At this point, we have only STAR as an assessment available, so we select that one. As soon as you select the assessments, you will see the available sections in here. If you see the same sections being repeated, most likely one of them is regular and the other one is a lab class. You should select the lab. The reason is because we provide intervention during the lab hours, and we should stick with the rosters in the lab hours. If both groups have exactly the same students, then there is no difference. Once we select a section or more than one sections, you will see that the buttons down here will be available. In the next step, we'll check the checkboxes here if needed and press the Run button. By default, the tool will export all the reports for all students. If you want to change the settings, press Settings here. You can uncheck some of the reports or you can select Excel report if you like. You press OK to go back to the main window. If you want to run the reports for only special ed students, you need to check this box. Or you may want to run the tool for only ESL students here. If you want to combine all the students of a teacher, you can use this combine option. However, you should be aware that if the teacher has more than 30 students, you won't be able to combine them. Before we run the tool, I want to show you how the upload feature works and when we need it. Let's close this and go to the upload sheet. As I mentioned before, I upload the main assessments like DA or mock test after all the campuses are completed the assessment. But if you want to use the tool for a common assessment, or if you don't want to wait for me to upload the data, then you should get the data on Euphoria and paste it here. I will show you how you do that in case you're not familiar with the process. This part is important. You need to select this one, the tracking tool data current teacher. If you do have the bottom one too, the tracking tool data testing teacher, you should not select that one. Not for the mock or GA, but for the STAR test, this is going to bring up the previous year teacher. You don't want that. So you got to be careful on this one. Current teacher is good. Once you get updated the data on screen, download it to Excel, open it up. You can use your keyboard to select by Control A on the keyboard, Control C to copy, go back to the tracking tool, paste the data right here. Once you paste the data, the tool should fill out the test information here. If the tool fails to do that, either you can press the reset button to paste the data again, or you can manually select from the list provided in each cell. It may sometimes fail to obtain the information for some of them, which is indicated in red as you see here. No matter what, you should review this information carefully. If you realize that you uploaded your data with wrong test information, you can forget about it and upload again. The tool wasn't able to obtain the grade level from the pasted data, so we should manually select one. If you continue with the upload data button before fixing the issue shown in red, you will be asked if you want to go back and fix it. You can press yes and go back, or if you're confident with what you've selected, you can press no to go on. I'll press yes and fix the grade. The red warning message is still there, but I know that this is sixth grade, so I can go on. I enter my database credentials. We should be good to go. Let's go ahead and find the data we just uploaded. We didn't have 2016, 2017 year before, if you remember. Let's select that one, grade 6, math, common assessment number 1. Here we go. I will select a couple of sections and run the tool now. The top bar shows the progress for the section being run, which is indicated in here. The bottom one shows the entire process. I'll just fast forward when the tool completes all the sections. The tool will finish analyzing the data for the first section, and then it will export the report and save it in a folder. Next, it will download the next section, analyze it, export the reports, and repeat the same process for all the selected sections back to back. You can always cancel it by the cancel button right here. If you're planning to run it for more than 10-15 sections, I recommend you to run it right before you call it a day, because it might be really annoying to use your laptop when the tool is running. Hopefully next morning all reports will be ready unless it encounters an error, which is possible because of the memory sufficiency problem. If that's the case, you need to find out where it stopped and continue after that point. For each selected section, the tool creates a folder in the same place where you keep the tracking tool. Let's go find those folders in which I have all the reports. I keep the tracking tool in the download folder. When you click the download button in your email, most likely the tool will be saved in the download folder, which mostly has a shortcut here. These are the folders created for the sections we finished running. Before we go into one of them, I want to talk about a possible issue. If you're using Outlook or another email management program, I highly recommend you to save it somewhere like your desktop or somewhere specific before opening the tracking tool. When you open the tracking tool in the email, the report will be saved in a folder which is not easy to locate. By the way, when you download the new version, which we did at the beginning of the video, it will also be downloaded at the same spot. From the date and time here, I can see that this is the very first folder created. Let's look into this one. These are the exported reports. After analyzing is finished, the backup of the tracking tool is kept in here in case you may want to export the report with different settings. For instance, let's say first you exported the Word reports to print and later you decided to export the Excel report, which can be used for online tracking. Let's open up the file. I'll just show what I'm talking about so that you can understand it better. Click the Reports button. This time I'll select Excel report and click OK. The Excel report is also saved in the same folder with Word documents. You probably noticed that the Excel report is a lot smaller than the actual file. Now let's see how Google can be used for online tracking. I recommend you to create a folder to keep your files organized. So right-click, New folder. Double-click. At this point, we're going to create a Google spreadsheet to import our Excel report into it. So we go to New, Google Sheets, go to File, Import. There's Upload tab very at the end here. Either you can use drag and drop method or you can select the file from the computer. I like drag and drop option better. You may want to rename in a way that you can recognize it later easily. At this point, I'll explain how to use and read the reports. If you're familiar with it from last year, you don't need to watch the rest of the video. The red color shows the students who failed pretty bad. The light yellow shows the students who were close to pass but they couldn't make it. The dark yellow shows also the bubble kids who passed but they barely made it. The light green shows the ones who are close to be commended, and the dark greens are the commended students. These black cells show the questions in the test belong to this standard. And these students missed number 7, these ones missed number 6. These two students missed 1 and 7 only, and there's only one student who missed these 3. Since there's no any student in here, apparently there is no any student who missed all these 4. How about this cutoff point? What do we use it for? This number is the range decider for the bubble students. Let me show you here. As default, there are 4 questions above or under from the passing point. When you increase this number to 7, for instance, you will get this kind of picture. You have smaller red area but larger yellow part. This feature allows us to be flexible on colors. Let's say you want to assign the red ones to an interventionist, but there are too many students who failed. You will increase this cutoff point until you find a reasonable number. Let's play with this number and see what's happening. When I increase this number to, let's say, 10, probably I will have a very small number of red ones and a lot of yellow ones. Let's see. Okay, how about the standards page? In this sheet, you can find individual student performance through different assessments, so you can monitor the progress. We already run the tool for DA1 and Mach 1. You can see how these particular students performed on these 2 assessments. You can select different students on this drop-down menu to see how they performed. Students are listed based on their performance. When you go down, you're going to have more green colors on the screen. This part will help you to have different sorting options. Currently, it's sorted by Mach 1 and it's by class average. If you want to sort it by DA1, you just click on DA1. You can also sort it by TEKS or reporting categories or readiness or supporting standards. Since we sorted the standard sheet by readiness and supporting standards lastly, the report was exported that way. However, I recommend you to make the sorting based on the last report run. In this case, it's Mach 1. Here's the intervention column I was talking about. Interventionists and the teachers will use this column to take notes, like when intervention is provided, student understanding, etc. For instance, there were 2 questions in the test for this particular standard, and she missed question number 1 in this standard. After intervention is provided for this standard, the teacher will find this report in the intervention binder and write down the intervention date, if she mastered or she was absent, this type of information. The second report is intervention tracking sheet. This report will be used as a quick snapshot about the intervention program. It shows students with their weak areas. Here's the meaning of each symbol on this report. When a student masters less than 25% of the questions for a standard, it will be a red dot with a white cross in it. When student masters between 25% and 50% of the questions, it will be lighter red color. When it's between 50% and 75%, it will be yellow exclamation mark. When more than 75% is mastered, it will be green check mark. Let's take a look at how this student performed. His percent score is 19%, so he answered 19% of the questions correctly. 91% is the average success rate for this standard. In order to find out how many questions we had in that standard and what they are, we need to go back to the student sheet. There are 2 questions in this standard, question number 16 and 51. 93% of the students got it right for question number 16, and 89% of students got it right for question number 51. and average success rate for this standard is 91%. Let's go back to the report. It seems that Michael answered both of those questions correctly, and he missed all of the questions on this standard. Please notice that the standards are sorted based on the average success rates. During intervention, we need to start from this standard and go to the right. It's pretty much it. Please don't hesitate to contact me when you have any questions or suggestions. Thank you for your time.